Welcome to Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. I'm Steve Swatt with the Sacramento Report. In the next few minutes, we're going to talk about efforts at the state capitol to change the way students are disciplined in schools. My guest is Roger Dickinson, a member of the State Assembly from Sacramento. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks very much, Steve.
So why don't you outline the problem? Because it has to do with, I guess, the huge volume of students that are being suspended from schools.
This is really a phenomenon that has arisen out of what happened after the Columbine tragedy a number of years ago with implementing zero tolerance in our schools. But what has happened over time is we are suspending more and more kids out of school for very minor offenses. And in California, for example, we now suspend more children, 750,000 a year, out of school than graduate. So it's become something that, under the term legally of willful defiance, where something very minor will lead a child to be kicked out of school and end up on the streets. And the problem with this, besides the obvious that they're not in a classroom learning, is that kids that are suspended out of school are 5 times more likely to drop out of school and 11 times more likely to become involved in the criminal justice system. So it's not just a school problem, it becomes a community problem.
But when you see what happened at Columbine and Newtown in Connecticut and a school in Taft, I mean, school administrators are pretty frightened that if they don't do something, that something worse may happen.
When we have 24 specific reasons in the California Education Code to justify a suspension out of school or an expulsion. So what we're really talking about here are instances in which child may not do his or her homework, may show up wearing the wrong school uniform, may talk back in a very minor sort of way to a teacher, and that being the basis under willful defiance for kicking a kid out of school.
And that's actually happening for those fairly minor offenses?
It is, and 42% of all the suspensions out of school in California are under this category of willful defiance. So in some cases, they certainly would justify severe disciplinary action, but in many, many instances, it's not the kind of behavior that would justify kicking a kid out of school. And remember, when that kid's out of school, that kid is not learning. So what we need to do is reorient ourselves toward making sure we're doing everything we can to keep kids in school and keep them learning.
So you want to take away a little of the discretion that school administrators have in this regard with some legislation.
That's right, Steve, and we want to leave discretion with teachers and administrators. They need to have that. They're in the classroom, in the school. They know what needs to be done on the one hand. On the other hand, we want to make sure that we're changing the culture in education toward keeping kids in school and making sure they're learning.
And your bill would do what?
The bill would not allow the use of willful defiance to suspend a child out of school in grades 1 through 8. In grades 9 through 12, willful defiance could be used as a basis for a suspension out of school, but only on the third offense.
You had similar legislation last year.
I did.
It passed, except it was vetoed by Governor Brown because of a couple of issues, but one was taking away too much discretion from the local administrators, correct? Yes,
there was that feeling that the governor had that it would be removing discretion from local administrators. But I think when he sees the data which the Department of Education is about to release, that shows that a very disproportionate evidence of imposition of discipline. In fact, 3 times as many African American males are suspended out of school as their Anglo counterparts, about 2 to 2.5 times Latinos. It's very, very uneven justice that is being visited upon kids, and I think hopefully that will change the governor's view on this.
And this study is really eye-opening, isn't it?
It's extraordinary, and this is not just a California issue, by the way. This is an issue all across the country.
All right. Roger Dickinson, member of the State Assembly from Sacramento, thanks for coming by and talking about this issue. It's important and it's very interesting.
Thanks again, Steve.
And thanks to our viewers for watching Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. A reminder, you can see this and other interviews on My Government on Demand, also on YouTube. I'm Steve Swatt. We'll see you next time.